Are you Mr. Roman?
That's right.
Thought you'd like to have this back.
Is it mine?
It's got your name in it.
Where'd you find it?
Well, I don't remember the name of the street. It was in front of a restaurant, though.
How much was in it?
$81. I spent $1.50 for breakfast. There's $79.50 there now.
How do you like that for an honest guy?
I don't. Silly law-abiding jerk.
In The Chase from 1946, that insult isn't just aimed at the film's protagonist. It's directed to anyone still foolish enough to believe that the world runs on logic. Arthur Ripley's strange haunted noir begins in daylight but moves as if through sleep, where decency becomes a liability and every act of kindness drags you closer to doom. It's a story that pretends to follow cause and effect, then quietly it erases both. Hello, I'm Shane, and this is Take 55, a channel for short essays about cinema and the way films reflect the worlds that make them. These aren't reviews, they're focused observations that look at motifs and themes that sometimes slip through the cracks. So if you've seen the film before, I hope to give you a fresh take that makes you want to revisit it, and if you haven't, hopefully this will inspire you to seek it out. This initial season of 10 film noirs looks at stories of desire, delusion, and fatal chance in post-war America. The Chase, however, flirts with dream logic, and at certain points it lives entirely inside of it. Chuck Scott, played by Robert Cummings, is a Navy veteran back from war, broke and hungry, drifting through Miami without purpose. When he finds a lost wallet outside a diner and returns it to its owner, the gangster Eddie Roman, played by Steve Cochran, he performs a small act of decency. But Roman is mostly just amused by the gesture, however he decides to hire him as his chauffeur. In this world, honesty is treated as weakness. Roman's right-hand man, Gino, played by Peter Lorre, makes that clear with a sneer. Director Arthur Ripley began writing in the silent era for the comedian Harry Langdon, and he later directed W.C. Fields in the early 1930s. You can feel that background in the movie's rhythm. The opening sequence moves like a Chaplin fable that's taken a dark turn. Chuck, hungry, watching breakfast being made through a diner window, finds money dropped by fate, then walks into a mansion ruled by a man who seems to play God. Ripley borrows the mechanics of silent comedy, this chain of coincidences, and he lets it decay from within. On his first drive for his new boss, Chuck encounters a contraption that could have come straight out of a Buster Keaton short, only here it's stripped of its comedy and left to curdle. The moment unfolds almost silently. Roman knows a train will cross the level tracks at a certain time, and he pushes his chauffeur to play chicken with it. It's a perverse joke on control, half slapstick, half death wish. It recalls the kind of absurdity loved by the Surrealists, those artists from the 1920s who celebrated dream logic and irrationality. The gag stretches past laughter and into dread. Chuck's post-war disorientation is quiet, internal, while Roman's is theatrical, almost absurd in its cruelty. His amusement business, as Gino calls it, is really just a front for racketeering and coercion.
Could I ask you a very personal question?
Yes, of course.
What is your business, really?
Gino, what business would you say we were in? Really?
No, I'd say the amusement business.
The amusement business?
Yes. Strictly for laughs.
It's a perfect metaphor for post-war America. Pleasure and violence fused into the same nervous system. When Chuck meets Roman's wife Lorne, played by Michele Morgan, the picture briefly shifts into another tradition altogether. Morgan had been a leading actress in pre-war French cinema, and she brings with her the atmosphere of poetic realism. These 1930s dramas where love and fatalism intertwine, where deliverance always feels just out of reach. Lorne seems like a woman who once believed in rescue, but now she lives in a mansion that feels like captivity. Her hope of leaving with Chuck, it carries that faint trace of faith that poetic realism always treated as illusion. And that hope of freedom soon turns unstable. What begins as release starts to feel like repetition, as if liberty and confinement were part of the same pattern. Ripley moves through these transitions without fanfare. Reality and illusion merge as naturally as waking from sleep, and that drifting between states gives the chase its emotional charge. Chuck's still a sailor, even on land, but he's adrift, unmoored, following invisible currents. Walter lingers at the margins of the story. It's where Lorne imagines escape and where Roman later stares into the distance, asking what it means.
Must have a special meaning for her. What does it mean to you?
I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist.
The ocean feels like the film's subconscious. It's vast, unknowable, and just beyond reach. Ripley echoes that tension through circular shapes. When Chuck first arrives at Roman's house, he's spied at through a peephole. And later we see the round window on the ship as Lorna looks out from her cabin. And Gino hints at a past that the story never explains. He carries himself like someone who's seen too much, though whether that comes from Europe in wartime or from the life that he's fallen into now, we can't be sure. There's a weariness beneath his cynical humour, a sense that he's learned to survive by standing half outside of things. When Chuck is later on the run, beginning the chase of the title, the police at one point search for him in a quarantined apartment. It reflects the influence of Italian neorealism, which had just appeared a year before in Rome Open City, Roberto Rossellini's landmark film about life in Nazi-occupied Europe. And that movement looked directly at ordinary people and the scars of war, and Ripley borrows a trace of that honesty here. It's a fleeting intrusion of reality into hallucination, grounding the story just long enough to make the rest feel even stranger.
Thanks a lot. Say, you never saw me before, but you helped me. Why?
Cops. I hate cops.
And by the end, the chase reaches something that resembles a resolution. But it doesn't really bring clarity. The cycle breaks, yet the mood lingers, as if the illusion has only changed form. What stays with you isn't the outcome, but the texture of uncertainty. It's a noir about dislocation, about what happens when the structures that guide men through war collapse in peacetime. The result is one of the strangest noirs of its era, haunted, poised, and quietly unmoored from reason. Next time on Take 55, we move away from the shadowy Miami of the chase to the concrete streets of the asphalt jungle from 1950, where order and precision replace chance, and the perfect plan unravels all the same. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me as the illusion gives way to hard reality. This is Take 55, and that's a wrap. Thanks for watching.